Welcome to the Kids Yoga Teacher Success Series. I'm Lorraine Rushton, founder of Zenergy Yoga, where we help people to become successful, confident, meaningful, inspiring children's yoga teachers. In this Successful Kids Yoga Teacher Series, we're going to be bringing to you successful children's yoga teachers who are going to be sharing with you what they did, how they did it, so you can do it too. They're going to be sharing their best tips, advice, the tools, techniques that they've used, and so that you can do the same, and so you can become a successful children's yoga teacher as well. Get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and enjoy every single one. I hope you get a lot of value and you enjoy it as much as we have. Welcome! Today we've got the beautiful Beth from Shyne Yoga, who teaches yoga to children and to teens from the top part of Australia up from Queensland. Who's going to be sharing all her tools and her tips of becoming a successful children's yoga teacher so that you can learn too. So beautiful Beth, say hello to us. Tell us, who do you teach? Where do you teach? And anything that we need to know.
Thank you, Lorraine. Hi, I'm Beth and I'm from Shyne and I teach yoga to kids. I teach yoga in kindergartens, in childcare centres, in primary schools, in high schools. I teach yoga in youth organisations. I teach yoga at home, online. I teach yoga on my deck on Saturdays. I teach yoga at lots of different places. I'm very mobile. And I love teaching yoga to kids.
So what age groups do you teach? You teach from, what's the youngest that you teach all the way up?
From about 3 years to adults.
Okay, fantastic. And so you've been teaching for how long now?
I've been teaching for 9 years, Lorraine.
Wow, it's amazing. I can't believe it's been 9 years. So for 9 years, so did you start as a yoga teacher and then you thought, okay, I'll teach yoga to little ones now? Or did you come from a different career path? How did it all work? How did it happen?
So before I had my children, I was a social worker, and my main, the people that I worked with had anxiety and depression, young people. So that's who I mostly worked with. So that was my specialty. I also was a really shy kid myself. So I think with those two motivations, I had my children and wanted to be at home and wanted to have a flexible job when I had my children. So I decided to train and become a children's yoga teacher.
So I forgot, so you're a social worker, and did you worked with teens or?
Worked with teenagers, yeah, 10 to 25 year olds.
Okay, so you already had your skills of, and were obviously passionate about helping that age group. And so what you saw mostly was stress and anxiety, depression.
Yes, and I guess I still am. I'm really passionate about early intervention and prevention. So I think that if we can give tools to kids really early, that will help them throughout their life to deal with stress when stress happens, then they'll have them there and they'll be able to cope.
Did you use any yoga? Did you use any yoga techniques when you were a social worker, or you did? So you'd already started doing yoga?
It's relaxation I was very lucky. I learned relaxation from my parents. So my parents, when I was 16, they are Catholic, my parents, but when I was 16, they went on these retreats with a Catholic priest, but they had a lot of Eastern meditation techniques. So they'd come home with mandalas, and my mum had a disability, has a disability. So she had a lot of pain. So she used to use meditation to assist her pain as a pain relief. So that side of yoga I was really comfortable with. That sat very well with me. And so in all my social work, I always use relaxation exercises with the young people I worked with. So coming into the yoga as a yoga teacher, my challenge was always the physical, but I have loved every moment of it, and every single child or young person that comes, or even adult that comes to the classes, gets something out of it. And what I find, my teenage group at the moment, I have this beautiful teenage group that I work with on a Saturday afternoon on my deck, and they come just for the relaxation. It's amazing. You do all this yoga and all these beautiful, crazy yoga poses, you're in wheel, and you get to and they're chatty and they want to connect, and then you get to the relaxation and they just all drop in and they just need it. All teenagers, all different walks of life, they just need that time to be still, to be quiet, have permission to relax. Yeah.
I love that your parents were the ones who introduced meditation, relaxation to you. What a progressive system that they had, and what a progressive leadership role that was happening there to take them to somewhere where they could explore different traditions. And your mum used it for pain relief, and then look at you then teaching it and taking it to those to the kids and the teens that come to your deck. So you obviously form a really good relationship with them. They're coming to your home, they're coming onto the deck, they're doing yoga with you, lying down, having this beautiful relaxation at the end. Have you seen any differences? Have you seen any changes, any impact?
I think that they are using those tools outside of the classes. So they talk about using the breathing techniques, and they say things like, I really need some yoga today, or I really need the relaxation today. So they've really incorporated it into their life. We have a little ritual beforehand where I actually make them iced tea. And they come, and a few of them come a little bit early, and we have a chat. So that's our relationship building in the beginning. Yeah, but I've had some young people that, not necessarily in this group, but that I've worked with in the past, that have come along and have felt quite shy. So I've done a couple of one-to-one sessions with them first, and then they've had the confidence to join the bigger group.
Oh, that's beautiful. And so going back to, so you did obviously you've chosen these caring professions, being the beautiful heart that you are, and working with children. So it naturally ended up going down that path into now your job is, and your career now is teaching yoga to all these different age groups. Do you think, if you look back, when you were helping children through your job and your role as a social worker, now you're helping children and teens in your job, your role as a yoga teacher, would you ever go back? What's the difference? Was it the best decision you made? Was it a good decision you made to come into this yoga path?
Absolutely. It's given me flexibility, so I can still have contact with my kids when they were little. That was really super important to me. But it's also, I feel like I'm impacting a greater number of people. I think that's probably the biggest difference. So as a social worker, I did do small group work, and I did a lot of counselling, a lot of one-on-one. But I just feel like these tools, the yoga therapy in particular, they have the ability to shift things, to shift emotions and to shift issues quicker.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I've seen. So when I used to be working with teens in my past career and teaching, and then we would have counselling sessions and things with them. But now using yoga, but particularly I agree, the yoga therapy, I have never seen anything work as profoundly because it works on all levels. It's not just the mind, it's not just their emotions or just physical, but where it impacts them holistically, mentally, emotionally, physically, socially, spiritually. And that's where I always say you get profound change. Yeah, I agree. I would never go back either. It's like the magic piece. And so you have done all of the Zenergy courses. So how did the Zenergy courses help you in what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think the first thing that Zenergy, the foundation course, gave me the structure. So any class I do now, adult, children, off the cuff classes, like classes that I'm just doing that I haven't actually, most classes I prepare for, but if I'm suddenly doing a class just off the cuff because someone's asked me to, then I have my structure. It's really something I fall back on all the time. Family yoga, all the different kinds of yoga. That has been sensational. Second, the courses have given me a way to deal with behavioural issues in the classes. So when you're working in schools, you have lots of kids doing lots of different things. You know, you might have a windy day or you might have a rainy day that the kids haven't gone out and, you know, exercised at all. So they're coming in and they're just a little bit, you know, pent up. And I think I've got those tools to be able to get them to get that energy out and for them to settle. So the behavioural tools and then the yoga therapy.
I know. What can you say about it? Every time I talk to somebody, they always say, yep, they love, you know, the foundation course sets you up with this great structure. I still use it 27 years on, and I played with it and worked with it and worked out what works, what doesn't work, what's the right order to do things in. And then if you're wanting to teach in schools, a key aspect is classroom management, because you can't control the kids. You can't teach them this beautiful lesson plan, this beautiful idea that you have. And then you have this yoga therapy. So how would you talk about the yoga therapy? How's that helped?
I think you just have to experience it. It's amazing. It makes you feel so good. So every class that I do myself, a yoga therapy class, you just feel amazing afterwards. Every class that kids come in and you're using yoga therapy, you can see they feel amazing. They talk about how amazing they feel. Adults talk about how amazing they feel. It's an amazing yoga. It's life-changing.
It is life-changing. You know, it's changed many of our lives, and those of us who've gone through the Teach training course, many people come into after the yoga therapy course tell me that they thought they were coming to help the kids, but actually it was number one was where they learned how to look after their own health, and how to get down to things like specifics on working with asthma or digestion, or back issues or coughs, colds and flus, and then how to take specifics into the classroom to help the children and the teens. And every time I ever go in with a yoga therapy exercise or I explain, this is what we're doing it for, this is why we're doing it, they are so much more engaged. And they remember it. They remember, okay, do this one for this one for this. I just find it's really empowering as well. I would have loved to have learned this when I was a teen. It's like, really, I know I do something to help me to get rid of a cough and a cold, like I've got a sore throat. Oh, I can help the whole menstrual cycle. Oh, really? There's something that I can do to help fix that up or fix that up. So you've been teaching now for 9 years, 8 years, 9 years?
9 years.
All of that time, you must have some beautiful stories. You must have some standout moments, many probably. If you could think of one or two, what would they be?
There was this little boy that I worked with in a kindy class. And I'd come along to the kindy every week and do the yoga class. And he was my star pupil. He loved yoga. And he did a great job. He did a great job every week. And I never had to bring out my behavioural management strategies. He was just there. He was just extremely present. And I worked with him for about 8 weeks with a group of people. And about 3 weeks into the block, one of the parents came up and told me, they said, "Oh, little Jimmy's doing such a good job." And I said, yeah, he likes yoga. And she said, "Oh, normally he is climbing on the table and swinging from the chairs, and he never sits still." And I saw a completely different kid, and it was such a lovely thing, because I realised that he'd found his home. He'd found something that really resonated with him. And I felt really, really grateful that I was giving that experience to him.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. That's divine. It's beautiful, and that makes the whole difference. And a fulfilling job, a fulfilling career, a fulfilling moment, a magical moment. And it's not just, that's why we do it, but you get those moments often. They happen. And I love that you gave him the capacity and the space for him to find his home. Gorgeous.
I also remember another child at a kindy class that I worked with, and again another kindy class, and I was in a group, so that I was there during kindy time, teachers were there, and I was doing my class, and I had this boy who wouldn't participate. He was just like, nah. He was really agitated, and the teachers were trying to get him back on his mat and all this throughout the whole class. And we get to the relaxation, and the relaxation was the affirmation box by Amy Hamilton, that lovely, beautiful relaxation. Anyway, we get to and he's fidgeting and he's up and down, and teachers are trying to keep him calm and quiet. And we get to the affirmation where we say, "I am safe." And he just stops. And he lays down, and he closes his eyes, and he does the exact thing. So he just needed to know that he was safe. Yeah. And after that, he was a completely different kid.
Beautiful. One of our rules right at the beginning for classroom management is provide that safe space. But those again magical moment that you just happened to have decided that was going to be the relaxation that you were going to choose for that class on that day, for the student, for the child, for the little boy who needed it the most, who needed to hear the exact words that you were going to choose to come out of your mouth. You just can't, universe, you just can't line it up better than that. So let's start wrapping this up. So if you were going to give your best advice to somebody who was thinking of, should I do this? Is this for me? Can I do this? Could I become a children's yoga teacher? What would you say?
Yes, you can. You can definitely become. And it gets easier. The more you do it, it gets easier and easier. And by doing these energy yoga courses, it gives you the tools, it gives you the structure, and it gives you the tools which helps your confidence.
Awesome.
And when you do it, you get more confident, and you get moments like that, and it makes it worthwhile because you realise that you are making a difference. Yeah. So just keep persisting. Keep knocking on doors. Keep ringing people, keep talking about it with people, keep emailing people, just keep talking about it, and just go and do it. I think that's the biggest thing. Just go and do it. Don't talk about it, just go and do it. Offer a class as a free trial to begin with. Just go and do it, because it's something our kids and our teenagers really need.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your spirit. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your gifts that you share with all the children and teens. Thank you for being you. Thank you. Big virtual hugs.